Hi guys, it's Michelle. Except it isn't. But it actually is. I'm just recording this audio only for the time being. Whoa. So you get to see a bunch of pictures of almost me, probably the atrocious ones that I draw in paint because I have problems. Anyway, this video is about a topic that everyone has already covered, but I feel like it's definitely worth my time to contribute my 2 cents since there are a considerable number of people on either side of this issue. And that is the whole Laura Loomer issue, where several people either affiliated with or endorsed by Rebel Media stormed the stage of a performance of Julius Caesar during the Shakespeare in the Park event. I'd also like to mention that the first video I saw covering this issue, and the one that probably did so the most articulately and comprehensively, is Margaret's. Margaret's basically me if I had class, so I would recommend watching that one if you only have time for either that one or mine. They went on stage and completely interrupted the play, completely derailed things in a manner that, if I had been an audience member there, would have been really scary. Considering how irrational and hateful and violent people can be, particularly as of late with someone shooting Justice Scalise, they intended for this Laura woman, who was the first to interrupt the production, to indeed be arrested. And then for her arrest to be used as an event to garner sympathy for the right and to gather a crap ton of money by Rebel Media. The first video I saw that actually discussed this was Some Dumb Americans, where she showed that the Free Laura or whatever it was site where they were asking for money to pay her bail had been registered as a domain before she had even gone into the performance. So, Rebel Media is fake news, astoundingly enough. I'm not going to go into why I've kind of felt this all along and like there's sort of a smug, pretentious, at least partially insincere media outlet, because that's all for another day, and a lot of it is just kind of intuition and stuff that I can't really give you concrete reasoning for. However, this is a pretty blatant example of a narrative created by a media outlet. And congratulations, that makes you pretty much as bad as CNN, the New York Times, or MSNBC. So, you suck. I am astounded by how many people have actually taken the side of the people who were kind of the actors in this little scam to get a bunch of money and attention for Rebel Media. Particularly on Instagram, I saw several posts by like right-wing or constitutionalist or Republican type Instagram accounts that I follow. There were quite a few people commenting on some of these posts I saw who were really glad that these people who are self-proclaimed conservatives were interrupting this event. Now, I do understand there being a grievance with tons of taxpayer money in New York going to fund these sorts of plays. Personally, I think that the arts and historical societies or museums or institutions should not be publicly funded. I think that if people do not care enough about the arts and do not care enough about history to patronize those establishments and to donate to them themselves, despite the fact that both art and history are essential to any culture being preserved in any society, having any sense of identity and integrity, if you privately as a citizen do not actually contribute to that, if you do not think it's important enough to patronize that establishment, you're essentially forfeiting the right to have that perpetuated and preserved for future generations. However, there is absolutely no excuse for storming the stage, for scaring the crap out of people, and for making all conservatives look like complete morons by acting in the exact way that much of the conservative body has been accusing the liberals of, or at least accusing progressives of doing, that being interrupting and therefore impeding other people's freedom of expression and freedom of speech, of shouting people down so that they are unable to present their arguments or their self-expression or their presentation in any way. That's a leftist thing, according to conservatives. Until now, until these few people sponsored by Rebel Media decided to do everything within their power to sabotage the conservative movement's credibility in regard to protecting free speech. You do not get to call yourself a conservative if you impede other people's freedom of expression. I don't care if it's a big organized group. I don't care if that group is being funded by the government. I don't care if you don't like the political message or if it's completely morally reprehensible and bankrupt. You do not get to rob other people of their freedom of expression ever. If you do this, if you impede other people's First Amendment rights, you are not a conservative whatsoever. You are a progressive. You are a coward. You are interrupting other people's ability to deliver their message or to express themselves, which is what you resort to when you realize that those arguments are too compelling or too damning for you to discredit. That's why social justice warriors, that's why progressives do it, because they know that if they do not stop people from sharing information, that information is going to alienate people from the progressive movement. To do this and to call yourself a conservative is to do a complete injustice and disservice to the conservative movement altogether. It is to give anyone who wants to paint conservatives as hypocrites tons of fodder that was not there before. And the fact that rebel media, who have tried to sort of position themselves as kind of the cool, chic, much more stylish younger brother of InfoWars, congratulations, you have done so. And you have been exposed as fake news, as not only misinterpreting stories or putting your own narrative on the reporting of a story, but creating your own narrative by orchestrating an extremely elaborate event to garner sympathy and money. And in doing so, you have done irreparable harm to the actual, legitimate, conservative constitutionalist movement. I'm sure nobody's shocked that this is the stance that I took on this issue, but I felt like it was important to get it out there, particularly since kind of a shocking number of people to me actually think this was great and think, yeah, we need to stop more of this stuff. I mean, not only is it horrifying for these so-called conservatives to prove that they have no comprehension of Julius Caesar or of any of Shakespeare's works, not only does that make us look bad, but more importantly, you are impeding freedom of expression for someone else. And if that's the case, you are directly violating the Constitution of your own free will, maliciously, with dishonest, malicious intent. And you are in no way, shape, or form a conservative. So that's about it for this video. Let me know if you guys agree and what you think of rebel media in the wake of this, now that it's been exposed that they orchestrated this whole fiasco. I love you guys very much, and I will see you again soon. Bye!